Well, I met the woman who's now my wife, Julia, 11 or so years ago, and she had been to a retreat in Greece a couple years before that called Radical Honesty, and I was attracted to the name. Curious what she did there, and mostly her answer was just go to workshop yourself, you'll see. But then later she came back from a Radical Honesty 8-day intensive, and I discovered her to be quite more open, more direct, and at the same time a lot more chill and relaxed. And I was fascinated by that. I was fascinated by her and felt more drawn to her. And I went to my own first workshop and was a bit freaked out. People being so open, so direct, expressing their emotions in front of a group of people. I was easily the quietest person there. So I was paying attention to other quiet people and thinking, oh, now everybody realizes I'm the most quiet person when the other ones are speaking up. And so that was quite moving for me. And yet, even though I didn't speak much, I was quite moved. And stuff was already moving inside me, realizing that for so long I thought I'd been such an honest person for so long. And realizing, yeah, actually I do withhold a lot. I do keep in a lot, and that is sort of eating away at me. There are a lot of unfinished conversations in my head. And started attending more workshops, started expressing myself more openly and directly, started going back to other people in my life, my ex-wife, my brothers and sisters, friends, ex-girlfriends, and telling them what I hadn't told them during previous relationships with the ex-girlfriends or the marriage, or what I hadn't told them, my siblings or friends. And I was shit scared each one of those 20 or 30 conversations, with all sorts of fears of worst case scenarios, and quite fascinated by how the reception from each person, that somehow I was giving them permission that we keep the friendship, the relationship, or whatever, at a minimum amount of emotions. But once I expressed my emotions, they took that as an invitation to express their emotions and share things they hadn't shared. And I loved that. I loved hearing things that they hadn't shared with me. And it wasn't always easy. Sometimes it was about anger, sometimes about judgments, and still I found it a way that I wanted to live, knowing what's going on for others around me, and their thoughts about me, their judgments about me, and them being open and willing to hear that from myself. And then, living a life far less out of fear of what others might think about me or what others might find out about me. So living more openly worked very well for me. Far more rewarding, relaxing, creating a lot more joy, a lot more deeper friendships. Not everybody wanted to go there. Some people, well, one friend wasn't so interested in going deeper, would prefer that I withheld things. And so I did lose one friendship ended and deepened so many other relationships. And that was just for me. I had no interest in leading other people in this kind of work. I was just doing my own work, attending the workshops and then doing my work outside of the workshops, my personal work. And then realizing, I could be of support to others in the workshops. I've been around a little bit longer. I have experiences. I could share my experiences with them. And I was doing that a little bit more and more, and I'm like, I actually like this, and actually I seem to be of value to other people, which I never really had that thought before. Being in some sort of caregiver or helper or support person's role, that was never a thought for me. It's like somehow the rest of the world was supposed to take care of me. And then when the role switched, I liked it, and I was surprised that I people responded positively to it. They're like, oh, maybe I'm even kind of good at this. And then doing more workshops, more trainings, starting to assist in workshops. And my wife and I, Julia, leading together since 2017, finding that it's very rewarding to do this with my wife. And in the early years, there were some struggles, some push back and forth. Maybe she feeling like I was elbowing her out, as she was used to being the person leading. And then, yeah, eventually found our balance, how to do this together. And I think we're a great team, and we provide some sort of, I don't know. On the surface, it may seem like we're rather the same, but we came from very different places in our lives. So I think we both have a lot to offer. We complement it. That's the word. We complement each other very well. I could have just used that word instead of said all that other stuff. And now, yeah, she and I have been doing this for a living full-time since 2017, leading retreats and workshops, supporting people to express themselves, express their emotions, to deepen their experience of their emotions, talk about the things they've been afraid to talk about, and see how that is for them to survive that. Not that it's always easy. Oftentimes there's some shit to go through to get to the better place. And a lot of us are scared to go through that shit. We'd rather not feel that, and then we feel stuck and alone, disconnected. So yeah, I love using my tools, my experience, my education, my expertise to support others to do this. And feeling rewarding, feeling rewarded so often. Feeling like I am living my life purpose, that somehow when I pass some people's lives, they were able to improve them, address shit in their lives with the support from me, deal with traumatic stuff, whatever. I mean, I spent a lot of time in my life just trying to survive, trying to get by, working dead-end jobs, not really having much of an impact, certainly not much of a positive impact on the world around me. And I do like thinking that I am making a positive impact on others with my work. And what I think about what is unique about my leadership style is, maybe for one thing, I've only grown into being some sort of group leader, workshop leader in the past 10 years. So I was very much an introvert, very much quiet one in the room, very much scared to speak up, very much not wanting to take on responsibility. Here at this retreat, as the main organizer, one of the two main organizers, as one of the workshop leaders, I'm stepping into taking on a whole lot of responsibility. And for so many years, I avoided that. And so somehow I know I take that quite seriously, holding that responsibility. So somehow the uniqueness is I know what it's like to be the one not responsible in the room. That sounds kind of dumb. I know what it's like to have experienced irresponsible leaders as a non-leader, teachers, employers, even workshop leaders who I didn't think they dealt with their own shit. And I think, I like thinking that I dealt with my own shit before I stepped into a leadership role. So me being in a leadership role, it's not about some lack of worth or whatever in myself that I need to fill. There's not a gap that I'm trying to fill with it. I feel like if I stop leading tomorrow, my life is still quite rich and full. A lot of joy and happiness, and a lot of fulfillment. So I'm not using my leadership role to give me something that I'm lacking, which sometimes I am very suspicious of people in leadership roles who are doing that and aren't aware of it. And I think I can be quite forceful, direct, leading with some sort of sense of power, the strength. And at the same time, I'm also quite casual and laid back. I like leading with a lot of humor, dry humor, the straight face. That's so much of what we do is quite heavy, yet that we can also laugh at ourselves, even about this heavy stuff. And we might not be there immediately, but we can get to a place where we can laugh at our own shit, at how silly we are as humans.